Okay, let's see that. Okay. So I gotta stop this one. Let me see. Copy that. Let's put it here. Okay. Let me see that. Okay. Here we've got. Let's see that. Let's go. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Another day, another time. This is what we've got. Let me see. Hey. Saw that? Let's see. Let's see, this one. Well, I don't have so much time. I think I'm just gonna get into it right now. Another day, another time, another drama. And it's been a lot of busy period. I would be the first to allude to that. I would say that I've been off here for, I would say, almost around 2 weeks, if not more, right? Because the last time I did come online was on, I think, October the 5th or the 6th, and just given everything that has happened, there's been a lot of drama. Both on the international level and also locally. And I just felt like, okay, fine. It's time for me to just get back to it this weekend, which is a little bit less busy for me. I felt like, okay, fine. Let me just see if I can catch up on the stories and then also talk about what's been happening. And while thinking about that, like, what do I need to do? There's been a lot of drama. You've had, the drama with RENO OMOKRI with one American called Mike Arnold. That's not really known in the United States, but I guess he's picked some interest in Nigeria and has done some background work with respect to, the challenges we have in the north, the Boko Haram issue, and also the story about the Christian genocide. And one of the lives that I did mention that indeed there is a mass critical of Christians that I believe are suffering from the insurgency more than even the Muslims. And I also made note that, you see what, when this thing starts, it starts from the Christian point. Because these guys don't just go to attack the mosque at first. When they come into a land, they first look for the Christian community, the priests, the pastors. Why? Because that's what they literally believe, that they have to actually have an holy jihad. So the question now remains that what about the Muslims? Because that's the talking point of the other people. And then we're also going to get into that. We're going to go into all of that. I don't just want to give it all out now. We're going to talk about that. RENO OMOKRI being clowned. SEYI did his birthday. That looks more like a campaign to me. I don't know. It doesn't look like a birthday. Like you got all your friends and you're like, okay, say good things about this my guy that is now 40th, and we know that most likely is gonna be the one calling the shot. Chinedu can go sit down because I don't think he's going to be able to pull his weight, but he has a right to contest in Lagos. And with Chinedu, I'm talking about Gbadebo Vivo. Yeah, I mean, see, let's not deceive ourselves, okay? Some is playing chess, another person is playing checkers, but it is what it is. So he did his birthday, and a lot of buzz around that. That looks more like a campaign stuff. We're going to look at some of those, and then finally, what else? What has been happening in Nigeria? I saw also what happened with Dave Umahi, with Rufai Oseni. Rufai has been going down, and we live in a world where everybody wants attention. Everybody wants to, get a little bit of bandwidth of time and all that. So we saw that Rufai is back in the news. Lest I forget also, Omoyele Sowore, the sudden savior of the Indigo group. I really, it's been a mixed feeling when you look at both Omoyele and also what is happening with Nnamdi Kanu. I learned the guy is now looking for donations. Yeah, that's the name of the game. After a while, people are tired of donating to the same cause that I don't know if it's going anywhere. But I learned the guy needs some money, he has to pay the lawyers. I mean, those are the people that really benefit from all of this. So we have that also. I mean, a lot of stories here. I don't know how many I'm going to cover. But before I even go to that, what is really hot right now is another drama queen that we have between NED NWOKO and the wife. I don't know if I should call her Regina NWOKO or Regina Daniels, because I mean everybody calls her Regina Daniels. Is she Regina NWOKO or Regina Daniels? I mean, somebody needs to tell me. Somebody needs to let me know who is who here. So allegedly, the number 99th wife of NED NWOKO. Give me one sec. Apparently, the wife of NED NWOKO, right, just said they had an altercation. I just saw that online. I mean, I wasn't planning to talk about this, but I mean, if this is what is trending, who am I not to talk about it? So it's been reported. If the report that NED NWOKO sent thugs to beat Regina Daniels are true, this isn't family drama, it's a crime. Hello, it's a report. You don't know if it's true or not. Let's calm down and let's be sincere with ourselves. I mean, this whole marriage thing looks more like a soap opera than a real marriage. But again, I mean, yesterday we saw the meme that came out from, but how do you get to be filming your husband in the washroom, in the bathroom? I mean, like, it's more of a comedy right now than a real marriage. But again, okay, freedom of right, freedom of expression, freedom of association. I'm not blaming anybody. We listen, we don't judge. We only listen, we don't judge. So apparently, there's a report that thugs was sent by NED NWOKO allegedly, and okay, we've not been able to confirm that. And they're saying that they demand answers. So again, I don't know what happens, but this is the video. It's not really clear. I'll do my best to see if we can actually capture what's happening. Let me see the volume.
Calm down. Did anything happen to my sister? In this house. In this house. Okay. In NED NWOKO's house.
No.
In NED NWOKO's house, I am nothing. But in my house, I am free.
No, you're still as valuable. Mom, look at me. Look at me, Mom.
Baby, once again, I cannot stand the violence. It's too much. It's too much.
Don't put water now.
Yeah, so I mean, apparently it looks very late. So maybe this must have happened sometimes Who knows? I don't even know, but maybe yesterday or very early, but maybe today, tonight. I mean, it's very late, so I can't say maybe early this morning. I don't know, but this is the report, right?
I bet give her water, Jaria.
Just wait. Just
I actually
relax.
want something.
Just relax.
Shame on you.
Are you bringing out a gun?
Can you imagine? Wait. Can you imagine this?
Wow. We are begging you, please. Please,
Okay, so they keep. So apparently,
Now go is something you fight. I mean, now go is something you fight.
and what you can see from there is that it's a very big compound. like the compound is so big that they can actually do it.
Basami, calm down.
Okay.
Basami.
Wow, that's a plank, bro. That's a plank. Who doesn't want to use the plank to hit? I mean, this is the house of your husband, a senator, a sitting senator of Nigeria for that matter.
Basami, you don't do. You don't do. You don't do.
take you down.
You don't do.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I check him. I say you want to use your gun. Basami, calm down, please.
Okay, so I mean that's it. So you can see they're trying to hold her, calling someone that is real younger mom. I mean that's Nigeria etiquette for you. Okay, but again, we don't know what happened. But the last thing we saw was the fact that it was picturing the guy in the washroom, and then again he came out to say this and that. Now this was another side. Let's see this one.
But in my house, I am free.
No, you're still as valuable. Mom, look at me.
In this house.
Oh, let me look at this perspective. Okay.
We are begging you, please.
Now go is something. Calm down. Did anything happen to my sister? In this house. In this house.
Okay, so apparently the sister is also there.
No.
It looks more like an extended family. Like everybody's, like it's a big family.
In NWOKO's house, I am
It's
not
a big
free.
family,
But in
obviously.
my house, I am free.
No, you're still as valuable.
In your
Mom,
house,
look
you're a
at me.
queen.
Look at me, Mom.
That means she's saying in her father's house. But the only problem with that is that she's married. Okay? And if my memory serves me right, the day you marry is the day you leave your father's house to go live in your husband's house. So when you are reminiscing about how you're a queen in your father, no, you are now no longer just in your father's house. This is your new house. Now, except when it comes to battery and violence, okay, that can be tolerated. No, you can't. You can't beat up a young lady and a celebrity for that matter, okay, and think that people will not take it up. So I don't know the genesis of this, but again, we could see some high-level violence happening there. I just want to put that out there. You can't beat, someone or send thugs.
Baby, once again, I cannot stand the violence. It's too much.
Oh, so she says she cannot stand the violence. Has there been any police report filed? Because all of this social media stuff would not take you anywhere. Have you filed a report, or are you thinking that you can still sustain it because of your children or of your kids and all that? Those would be the question. I can't say this is the right person or the wrong person, or this is what happened, or this is not what should happen. I mean, drama happens in all family. Everybody has to manage his or her own home. But again, I don't just know, putting your family story, your family drama out there on the internet, I just think is the right way to go in 2025. Although I know most people that's what works today, but I don't know.
It's
No,
too
don't
much.
forgive water. Don't forgive water now. Don't
It's
forgive
too
water.
much.
Just
Okay.
I bet give her water, Jaria.
Just wait. Just
I
relax.
actually want something.
Just relax.
Shame on you.
Are you bringing out a gun?
Can you imagine? Can you
So
imagine?
again, that's just a reputation of you know, of what has happened. And then we've seen this before. So again, that's the update that we're having here. And I think everybody's just carrying like that drama. We don't even know what's up. I believe in love because of Ned NWOKO and Regina Daniel. Now I don't believe anymore. I mean, you can't use two people as a poster child for you believing if there is love or not. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so and that's it. Allegedly, so this is saying that Senator Ned NWOKO allegedly sent thugs to beat up his wife, Regina Daniels, and his brother following an altercation in his house. Well, that's not been confirmed. We don't know. You get lucky saying you run command after you beat my sister. I for bust your jaw. Regina Daniels' brother calls out Ned. So apparently saying that there's been an altercation. And he's alleging that Ned NWOKO beat Regina Daniels. So husband and wife issue. No matter what happens, you don't raise your hand against a lady. Not to even say your wife, you know. But again, so this guy is now, I think he did. So that's the problem. Okay. So now this is happening, is boiling down, and this guy has gone online to go give his own verdict. Machaki. Calling that's Ned NWOKO, right? Pay me say, you know, I won't finally laugh my sister. Let me repeat, anywhere where man they beat woman, whether not my sister or not, I go fight with my blood. Okay, Senator Ned NWOKO, you get luck. Say after you beat my sister again, smash her head for wall, you run come out, send talk. I swear, I for bust all your jaw. Well, I mean, that's his own take. So let me see. Well, this was I believe the last tweet from him. Let me see if he has anything to say about that. No, so the last tweet was 14 hours doing his own duty. So I guess after the work for the day, you know, the whole drama ensued. Honored to be the best performing senator of the year. I mean, the best performing senator of the year. In what way? Okay, let me see. Honored to this guy, the best performing senator of the year, is allegedly beating the wife. You can't make this stuff up. This is Nigeria for you. Okay, honored to be the best performing senator of the year. Let me see if I can expand this. And then it says, this recognition is not just mine. It belongs to Anyoma, to Delta North, and to every Nigerian who believes in purposeful leadership, dedicated to a visionary before his time. Sir Dennis Osadebe, his dream for Anyoma State lives on through our collective pursuit of justice. So, oh, could this be what has happened? Let's see. Oh. This is the new wife, right? This might be the cause of the problem. I mean, like, you understand what's happening now? Do you guys freaking get what's happening? This is what I think is happening. And I don't know if that's the real story, but I'm just saying that our best performing senator, aka allegedly, now has been the wife. And the last thing that the guy had on his own social media page was him receiving an award for being the best performing senator. And you look right to him, I believe, now I don't know much of his personal story, it doesn't interest me. Okay, the drama of that family is just too much. But I think this is the person that came to follow her. On a normal day, she's kind of, you know, covering on the spot of the former Regina Daniels. It's not ex-wife, right? The official, the former official wife. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know if that's true, but it seems that this, maybe I'm just saying, I'm using, you have to use your head and just think what's happening here. So this is him yesterday, I believe, collecting these awards. And Regina Daniel is nowhere to be found. I mean, Regina Daniels too, I'll be mad a little bit. Okay, I'll be mad. That's one. And then there's another one. Let's see who followed him here. Nobody. That was 23 hours ago. Today I joined the governor of Delta State. Okay. fine and all that, the milestone it has achieved. If I'm able to see the video, I want to know who followed him there. Because you cannot relegate our Regina. No, it's not done anyway.
And then we have some justice.
Look at that, bro. Look at that, man. So if I was Regina also, I would be mad. But again, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? It's life. Because she also met somebody on the queue. It's no longer our own time, right? The music is gone for her. Now we're gonna move on to the next bride. And the next bride is this this woman. I don't even know her name. So how do you manage that? How do you manage that? Oh man, see the blushing. Like, see the blushing, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the blushing. Look at all that's happening. So now, maybe I'm just trying to kind of see if there's any clue as to what is happening between the two. And I don't know what promise was given. Okay? I don't know what promise was given. Congratulations, Mayazi. I'll be like you when I grow up, but a traditional line Biafra, not Nigeria. What the hell is this talking about? I wish you more. Honestly, I haven't had much, but the times I've had your words are so deliberate. It's like you've got a clear goal in mind. Okay, let's see. Humbling how consistent you are with advocacy for Anyama. So again, talking about that. That's good. Collect award in the morning. Smart some in the evening. Man is killing it. You better lock your comment section. Oh, that for don't fool from Oshodi to NED Avenue. They're gonna come for him now. You know, people are still getting to understand what's happening, the story, the news. But I'm saying that this could be it. And I don't have time for this. Congratulations, Daddy. We need Regina to achieve your Anyoma State's dream. Okay, that's not me. What does this mean? You could clearly see that she brought someone else. So, 17 minutes ago, Senator, is it true? Is it true? What's true? Amen. As your jaw drops, so you know they perform anything. Seriously, I don't even know why I was giving that award. But again, I don't belong to his constituency and I don't really care. You can see, a woman beat her 30 minutes ago. What? You are the best performing senator clown. Do you even go anywhere in your constituency apart from your own village? Go and see how things are there. I don't know much about that. I'm not gonna wade myself into what's happening in another person's constituency, okay? I just don't have time for it. I just don't have time for that. But again, what more can I say? So again, that's what it is. We don't have any story. Let me see if I can actually consult Grox. What the hell is happening? What the heck is happening between NED, NWOKO, and the wife? I can't put the wife now because it's Regina Daniels, right? And after this, I'm going to move on to a better story because I just feel that the recent controversy as of today, the viral video has ignited massive online backlash and concern, alleging severe marital strife. In the clips, Regina is seen in distress, sitting on the ground, emotional with water poured on her head in what appears to be an attempt to calm her. This is her quote, and this quote is going to go viral. In NED NWOKO's house, I'm nothing, but in my own house, I'm a queen. Well, NED NWOKO's house should be your house. NED sent thugs. I can't stand the violence anymore. So there was an heated disagreement, after which Regina reportedly moved out of their marital home. Insiders suggest tension had been building for weeks, exacerbated by, didn't I tell you, polygamous setup and power dynamics. Regina's brother, Sammy West, has publicly accused NED of physical assault. Allegedly, he smashed her head. We saw that one. But no official statement yet. We don't know what's happening. If this is a case of battery, then she needs to sue. Or she needs to file a report, a police report. That will be the only way that we can actually, bring a closure to this. This silence has actually fueled what? Speculation. Now, these are the timelines. 2019, he was married. He married Regina. There was age, of course. You see the age stuff and all that. In March 2025, there was a divorce rumor. Now, in June 2025, NED and Regina sue influencer Timothy Gabriel for false paternity and moral attack. NED vows to prosecute enablers. Now, in September 2025, there was a bathroom prank video. That was really, really nonsensical. TikTok of NED in the bathroom with a husband's are useless soundtrack. I don't know. I don't really know what's up. Now there's today the abuse video, and it's quite painful. Seriously, it's quite painful. And I'm not going to take any sides here. We just need to know what's happening, and that's that about that. Now, if this is a genuine crisis, it could lead to legal or public intervention, especially given NED's senatorial status. Yeah. I mean, how do you want to even place it? You got best performing senator yesterday, and today you're allegedly sending thugs to beat your wife. But again, it is what it is. And then I've got to move on from this. Hopefully, I hope Regina Daniels is okay, and this is not a laughing matter, to be honest with you. But again, family drama is always, is always there and always everywhere. But it is what it is. Now, that being said, I want to move on to another story that has been really making the rounds. And it has to do with what has been happening with respect to security. Okay? And I think I should talk about the security issue in Nigeria first, and the various revelation that has happened, before I talk about the controversy between two internet stars, Blood and BDM. So I'm going to talk about the story, because apparently RENO OMOKRI clowned himself, and I mean it. I did a video like a few days ago, that was early this month, and I was talking about the issues that we really have with insecurity. Now, just to give you context and what has been happening, okay, there was a series, and that was the genesis. There was a series on Bill Maher. Now, if you don't know Bill Maher is more like a late night comedian, okay? So he does this night comedy show where he always, tries to bring in some sense to what is happening in the United States. And it's for you to decide, if what it does, you like it or not. That's not the issue here. The real issue here is what really happened between that time and now. And that's a real discussion. Okay, that's a real discussion in all of this. Because Bill Maher said that, see, there's been like 100,000 Christians killed in Nigeria, northern Nigeria, since 2009 up until date, the Boko Haram issue and that. And he's saying that there seems to be like a genocide, now that was his word, okay, of Christians in the north. And, given all of the story and all of the reactions to that, then we saw the U.S. Senator Ted Cruz jump into action saying, oh, I'm going to have a bill that, the government has been enabling the saga that is happening in Nigeria. Now, when I heard that, there were different schools of thought. Given that in my own personal capacity, I understand that Tinubu has been, working so hard on economic reforms. And if you listen to what I say, for those who at least have a little bit of brain will understand that some of these reforms were really important. It was really important that we go through that reforms. But that people are still being hurt by those reforms. And it's going to take a while. And also, there is also the school of thought that believes that the presidency has not done well with respect to their own luxurious lifestyle. And I kind of agree with that too. But one area where I always, even though I feel that, things could be done better, is the fact that Tinubu has not really tried when it comes to security. Is it doing stuff? Yeah. Are people working hard? Yeah. Are people putting their lives down to secure Nigeria, especially going to all those forests and all that? Yes. But again, that's not what is that's not what is in question here. The question here is, what is the result? Because if you're doing everything you can do, but there is really nothing moving, or the numbers of death tolls have not improved for the past 2 years, and there is no direction as to what's going to happen in the future, then again, you can't come here to tell me that, oh yeah, the president is doing well, Tinubu is trying to fix something. Like, what the hell? What is it doing? And it took everybody shouting before the president even tried to go to Benue State. This is a president that would, in the next minute, go and tweet about a mishap that is happening in another country in the West and ignore all the issues that is happening in Nigeria. And I find that very repulsive and painful to me, given that I even support a lot of the works that he's doing. So I call that out. I don't unnecessarily agree with the approach that the U.S. is using. And again, I don't even like the U.S. wading into matters that is Nigerian. But the reason why they are wading into the matter in the first place is because you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job. If you've done your job and you've secured the country, we shouldn't be in this mess. Now, this is where it gets interesting. RENO OMOKRI, who has appointed himself as the unofficial spokesman of this administration, came out and started, trying to spin it and saying that there was no Christian genocide. Okay, fine. Maybe there is no Christian genocide, but you can also reduce the fact that Christians are being killed in the north and that Christians are being affected in a greater proportion because they are always the first point of contact. And they are systematically targeted. The churches, the priests, they first target them, even before they go to the mosque, the farmers, and then the other villages. So I just want to listen to this, and then I'll go to what really happened with the conference.
When the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria began, I felt it was my patriotic duty to bring the facts out to the international community, and I reached out to Mayor Mike Arnold, a Republican elected mayor from Blanco, Texas, and I also reached out to Jeff Gibbs, a filmmaker from the United States, and I invited them over to Nigeria for a fact-finding mission, and we've met with the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, and now this is the Secretary General of the Jamaatul Nasir Islam. For those who don't understand, it just means Society for the Support of Islam. It's the APEC Islamic body in Nigeria, and it's an umbrella body of all the Muslims in Nigeria. And at the top we have His Eminence, Sarki Musulumi, Sultan of Sokoto. Now the thing is, I'm a Christian, and a lot of people know that I've written books on Christianity, and I come from a long line of people who are Christian scholars. And anybody that denies that there are killings of Christians in Nigeria, I mean, that person is obviously a liar. And equally a lie is to deny that there are killings of Muslims in Nigeria. And we're not very good at keeping records, but it's quite possible that right now even more Muslims are being killed than Christians. So to say that there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria is not true. And
so maybe I wouldn't have used that word if it was me to say that there is a Christian genocide in the north. But I think the appropriate word to use, the right word, is Christians are being persecuted in northern Nigeria, because that covers everything. While they're being killed, while Muslims are being killed, there is always a let me put it this way. There's always the systematic targeting of Christians, of their groups. They're targeted in their villages and they're being killed. So you can always spin this as is everybody. No, it's not just everybody, because there's an ideology behind that. And to them, they think that it's part of an holy jihad. So again, what I'm gonna say to Muslims, to those peace-loving Muslims, is this: what are you doing to stop that ideology? Because if you don't believe that that's right, if you believe that someone should be killed, then I'm sorry, that's not in the nature of God. And one of the countries that have been able to maintain a good level of peace, do you think that the Islamists don't want to go to Dubai and conquer that Dubai? No, but they've been able to bring legislation and build institutions to ensure that there is no occurrence of terrorism in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, even in Qatar. They may be using them against other countries, but they make sure that their own homeland is safe and secured. So again, when people say, oh, no, you are just mixing everybody's both Muslim and Christian. No, the Christians are systematically targeted. And like I said, there is always a bounce back. When the Christians are targeted and nothing is being done to it, what happens? Then they move to the next one. Oh, these other Muslims, they are not in my own caucus or my own group. If you actually want to stop me from killing you, then you have to join my own extremist group. That's what happens. So again, the United States is saying that there are Christians that have been treated unfairly and persecuted and killed, and they're not lying about it. But for RENO OMOKRI to want to spin it like, oh, it's just not this thing, then I think that was what made him to clown himself.
That's why I invited these gentlemen to come here. Before they came, they briefed Senator Ted Cruz, they briefed Congressman Chief Roy, and they're going to take their facts back. Because if Nigeria is declared a country of particular interest, guess who's going to benefit? The terrorists. That is what they want. The ordinary citizens in Nigeria are going to be poorer for it, and they're going to resent the United States. And the US, since 1962, when our first Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, went to the United States, has been our strongest ally, and we don't want that relationship to go. Now, Congressman, do you have anything to add?
I'm still gathering facts, and I really appreciate the opportunity to meet such esteemed, honorable people. I know this, we run schools in IDP camps, and one of the camps that we serve, the school is entirely Christian. We have a school that's almost entirely Muslim, that we provide free education. And these are displaced people from the violence. So it does cut both ways, that's for sure.
Excellent. Sir, do you have anything to add?
Well, thank you. Yes, it's said that conscience is an open world. Only truth can heal it. And I think changing narratives will not help us in any way. Facts are facts. Mere allegations are really not upheld by any discerning mind. In our country, there's nothing like Christian genocide.
Are Christians being persecuted, bro? You're not answering the question. Nobody say. See, again, who's saying that if the North is, some part of the North, not all the North, right? If some part of the North are hotspot for terrorism and all that, has there been consensus effort made to secure the Christians who are, number one, vulnerable? I mean, that should be the question. The Christians who are vulnerable to attacks. What has been done? Because we know that when this kind of thing happens, these people are the first casualties.
Of criminality is what is it? Crime has no color, has no religion. A criminal is a criminal. And I think the earlier, the better for us. We link act of criminality to those who are criminals, and we call them criminals. Linking them with ethnic nationalities, religions will not help us. Rather, will make the matter worse and very cumbersome. And in the end, the criminal will have his field day, and continue to orchestrate.
Okay, so that was what happened. This guy is saying more, and that was good. Now, this was what then happened after that. So this guy, Mike Arnold, now they did a press conference, and I want you to see what happened. The press conference, I did listen to like snippets of that, okay, but I didn't listen to all. Now I want you to just see what really happened at the press conference. This was after the press conference. Let me just see if I can get that for you here. One sec. Let me duplicate this because I really want to go through the reactions that did happen after that press conference. But more importantly is the press conference. Just give me a sec. Let me just figure it out. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. So the men have a 30 minutes. Let me see if I can listen.
And we have here some Americans on a fact-finding mission, and I'll introduce them. This is Mayor Mike Arnold, Republican elected mayor of the city of Blanco in Texas. And this is Jeff Gibbs, filmmaker, prominent filmmaker from the US. And beside me, I have the Secretary General of Jamaatul Nasr Islam, and he's going to introduce himself. Sir, let's introduce.
Well, good afternoon all.
And they've met with other persons. They've also been to IDP camps, and Mayor Mike and Jeff Gibbs have been around this country. Now, the thing is, when...
So this other guy's been here before, so he understands what's happening. Like he said, they've hosted schools, they've provided meals, even for Muslim schools. Okay? And he said he has a deep root to Nigeria. But that's that.
When all of this information about a Christian genocide in Nigeria began, actually the first mention of that started on September 26th. I just reached out because the feeling back home is that it was an agenda against Nigeria, it was propaganda against Nigeria, it was to undermine Nigeria. But I just felt that the people who were saying these things, they meant well, and the reason why
RENO.
Event, and he was going down the line and I shook his hand. So I know people in his office, but I'm not a personal friend. Also, and while I may tend to vote for Republican candidates, I haven't been involved in a political party in about 30 years. I'm really not a political person. In fact, the mayor's job for my town in Texas, like a lot of towns, is not a partisan position. Nobody knows what party. It's a small town, and we fix roads and schedule parades and things like that. So just wanted to clarify those things. I'm not a politician. I have a little family construction company that for my livelihood. I am not beholden to any political party here or there. I'm an independent voice, and I just wanted to make sure that that's established. I want to also state briefly why I'm here. People ask, why does this American come over here and say these things? My first trip to Nigeria, this is my 16th trip to Nigeria. My first was in 2010, and I was accompanied a fellow who became my papa, my mentor, Professor John Ofebu. He lived in the United States, but he was a very proud Nigerian. He loved this country. He gave his life for this country. And in fact, this will shock most Nigerians. He was offered U.S. citizenship on multiple occasions, and he always turned it down. I don't know any Nigerians that would do that. I know people that would kill for that, but to turn it down because he didn't want any split loyalties. He lived and he passed away about 11 years ago as a proud Nigerian. We crisscrossed this country over several years together, and I grew to love the country too, and the people, and have great hope for it. I consider this my second home. And before he passed, he prayerfully put his mantle on me, and I've endeavored since then to be a good steward of that, to steward his legacy. He was the founder of the International Coalition of Reconcilers, Unity for Africa. He was a man of unity, a man of peace, who loved this country, and I love this country too. It's my second home. speaking of home, I do want to say this. I would love to, I want to be here longer. I would love to meet everybody and talk and answer questions and all that. When we were preparing to depart to come here, I was notified my 4-year-old grandson Parker was rushed to the hospital. He had been having an ailment for quite a while, fever, trouble eating, and the answer was, message back, just tell the truth. And so that's what I'm here to do.
Okay.
It's not an easy thing. I told my host that probably lose some friends today. I know this is a very contentious and divisive issue, a lot of, on both sides. And I appreciate the freedom of the assignment, but it's a heavy weight. Truth, what is truth? It's an accurate an assertion of reality. It's an
I see that this guy is getting uncomfortable with what is happening. You can see, they know that this guy may be doing stuff, right? So let's see.
Accurate picture of reality. That's what truth is. What is real? What is really there? That's what truth is. And truth is the only thing ultimately that's sustainable. It's the only thing that can bring us together. If one side or anybody has built anything or advanced anything that's not firmly on the truth, it simply can't last. And so I've been very careful. I've been very precise ever since I got invited. Pretty much full-time, late into the night. I've been researching, talking to experts, spent considerable time, retired U.S. ambassador friend of mine, a long-time international human rights attorney, journalists, and others, because the truth is important. And I can't say, nobody can say that what they're going to speak or present is 100% truth, but it's the very best I could do, and it's very well validated.
So he's saying that it's not 100% true. If it's 100% true, then why do we have this label full statement of fact? Fact-finding mission. I'm expecting to have data that would either support or refute, the whole stuff.
And backed up and supported, documented. And I can also guarantee this, it's going to probably, everybody on every side is going to be a little bit uncomfortable with what I say. I would ask you to bear with me to the conclusion, because that's what's important. There have been, I believe, misunderstandings, misconceptions, miscommunications, and agendas on every side of this. And I've attempted to throw those out the window and just focus on the facts. So if anybody's a little uncomfortable, just bear with me. I think it's equally uncomfortable. Because that's what the truth is, right? I mean, violence and displacement in Nigeria. One of the contributors that's listed is U.S. Ambassador Louis Luck. Spent considerable time, and he's done a lot of work. He was an ambassador to Swaziland. He was also the #1 person in charge of rebuilding Iraq after the war, #1 guy in charge of rebuilding Haiti after the earthquake, and former board member of the World Food Program. So he has stature. He's put his name on here. There are other experts that value their privacy in this day of social media, but if any journalist wants to dig deeper, I'd be happy to make personal connections with any of my sources, so you can, if you don't trust me, maybe you can do your own digging. That's what I encourage everybody to do. Don't ever take anybody's word for anything. Don't ever, specifically, if it's in the Nigerian newspapers, no offense to anybody, but there's oftentimes twists and turns there that don't line up with reality. Do your own homework, do your own research, search your own soul, and always seek the truth, because that's what's sustainable and that's what always wins. The truth always wins. I'm going to start, I'm just going to read it because it is important. Like I said, it's verbatim in the document that will be distributed. It's also posted up, will be posted online, so anybody can read this. But I'm going to read it because I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to deviate. Purpose and credentials. My name is Mike Arnold. I recently served as the elected mayor of the city of Blanco, Texas. I first visited Nigeria in 2010 as a board member of Unity for Africa. Since then, I've made 15 trips to Nigeria, including 6 extended investigative missions since 2019. I founded Africa Rise and International and Africa Rise USA 2019, along with my covenant brother, Pastor Jed DeGrace. I have frequently been quoted in top newspapers and TV news broadcasts here, and a couple viral videos too. I've never extracted anything from Nigeria. I've never taken anything home but souvenirs and small gifts. My closest and most trusted friends are native Nigerians. I come only to give, serve, and stand with the people and nation I dearly love as my second home. I was personally invited here today by RENO OMOKRI, and I got a call last Sunday morning, unexpected.
So I'll give RENO credit here for at least, even though he didn't know how this thing would end, still brought out someone, you know, so I would say had an independent mind to really get to the bottom of the issue. And Reno's output was just to prove to people that there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria. But I'll allow him to continue.
Expected from RENO OMOKRI. He was on the line with the National Security Advisor. Invited me to on this fact-finding trip and to come give a report. The sole stated written charge given to me for this trip is simply to meet certain key people and then declare the truth. I know what's at stake and take this very seriously. While my plane ticket and accommodations have been paid for, I have not asked for, been offered, nor received any compensation or promise of compensation for this, and no duress either. I've been given freedom. I'm not connected in any way or compensated by the US government. And I don't advocate any policy. I'm not reporting for them, I'm not speaking for them, and I'm not advocating any policy. That's not my role here. I'm here independently, and this statement is made without coercion or inducement of any kind.
Okay.
I also note that numerous top US officials have been briefed and are personally aware of my being here, the purpose of my trip, and my specific itinerary and expected return date. At their request, I am providing updates as to my status. These include, but are not limited to, Senator from the state of Texas, my state, Ted Cruz, and Congressman Chip Roy. The White House, US State.
So those two people talked about, Ted Cruz is a senator from Texas, and Chip Roy is a congressman from Texas. Ted Cruz was the one that made the allegation, or that made the claim, that there is a Christian genocide, okay, in Nigeria following what Bema did. And the problem I have with Ted Cruz's insinuation was that he tried to implicate the government. I don't like that. Because this is what happens when people from the United States try to do that, and they then want to spin up like a government change. Why would you come out to say that the government of Nigeria is involved in the genocide? And incline it in such a way that puts, and again, there is a way you could actually say the government is not doing what it should do, but when you say the government is actually sponsoring it, then it becomes a bigger question. Why is the USA now coming out today to talk about this? What is their plan? Is it because Tinubu has been defiant to them in a way and has not kowtowed to Trump? Why would you come to say that the government itself is the one sponsoring this?
Department and acting ambassador, as well as a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist from the New York Times and their international editor. So a lot of people are waiting for this. Also note that as I present this statement, it is being simultaneously distributed not only to these people who are awaiting it, but also posted online for all to access. This statement is my formal account and analysis of facts, findings, and first-hand documentation of widespread claims of widespread violence, displacement, and atrocity crimes in Nigeria, primarily directed against Christian populations in the North and Middle Belt claims, and whether this rises to the level of genocide. Let me just pause there. This is heavy. This is serious. It's not something to play word games with.
It's addressed to journalists, international observers, human rights bodies, and policymakers in the United States and abroad. We have traveled to cities, villages, and remote encampments from Bokos, Jos, and Gwoza to Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Bakuma, Mokoko. Been all over in these last 6 years. I've interviewed governors, cabinet ministers, traditional rulers, 2 former presidents of high standing, and others. I've met orphans whose parents were hacked to death. I've helped them. I've built schools in internally displaced persons, IDP camps, and documented over 80 hours of filmed testimony and evidence at great personal risk, soon to be released on our documentary film, Me and Miss Hannatu. My findings carry the weight of direct personal experience. Nigeria in 2010, a nation at peace. In 2010, Nigeria was a beacon of rising prosperity and religious tolerance, often cited as the only country where radical Islam was being pushed back. Attacks were rare and sparked national outrage. Recognized IDPs were effectively zero, with only minimal displacement from localized communal conflicts. A stark contrast to the crisis that followed, marked by a 1,200% surge in IDPs the very next year, 2011, due to Boko Haram's escalation. The prior absence of displacement crisis is both verifiable and damning, because today there's not an accurate count, because I know we have schools and camps that the governments of the world, including Nigerian government, deny exist. So the quoted figures of 3 to 4 million internally displaced people is clearly low, and I've heard numbers as many as, in fact, the first time we talked, you said 9 million. What has changed since then? By 2014, Nigeria's stability was shattered. Foreign meddling, including US involvement, played a pivotal role in the 2015 election, enabling regime change that emboldened actors who ignored or enabled extremist violence. High-placed eyewitness testimony confirms this interference, with firms like Cambridge Analytica further skewing the political landscape. Radical jihadist elements fueled by foreign fighters from Libya and Sahel, post-2011 Arab Spring, many who say were invited, not invaded at that stage, flooded into Nigeria, amplifying Boko Haram and ISWAP. Today, over 4 million Nigerians are displaced, a very conservative estimate. That's based on, in part on my work in hidden camps, and officials who label these IDPs officially as criminals or vagrants. I'm going to pause there for 1 second to make this point, because it's very clear that Nigerians understand this. We did a groundbreaking for a school at an IDP camp 2 years ago. And several journalists came and wrote articles about it. And my remarks were, and the whole purpose of this, what we do is we build camps and schools and IDP camps. And that was the whole purpose of this. The news report said that we build schools in rural communities. Took out the whole idea of IDPs. If reality, if truth is the only way for unity, and truth is the only thing sustainable, the Nigerian media, at least the ones in my experience, I don't know where they get off changing my words to sterilize it. But if you work for a paper and you're guilty of that, you're not a journalist, you're a propagandist, and it's for shame. Your job is to speak the truth. Nigeria cannot heal, it cannot advance, it cannot succeed if the people of this country rely on your words to understand the truth and you're lying to them. Sorry, we got a little bit off track, but that's reality, okay? This is too important. Don't change my words. The vast majority of the IDPs are Christians, driven from their homes by deliberate political.
Wow. So if the majority of the IDPs are Christians, and this is happening in the North, how come, because if we're saying that, oh, this is not against Christians alone, it's just, against everybody, then how come we should have more Muslims in IDP camps than Christians? Because by population count, there are more Muslims, a greater percentage in the northern Nigeria than in any other place in Nigeria. So if more Christians are in the IDP camps, then that begs the fact that, yeah, Christians are being targeted. I mean, is that difficult to understand?
Engineering and radical conquest. While mostly Muslim IDP camps do exist, one of our schools serves an entirely Muslim population, several hundred children. Our team's fieldwork. Since 2019, our team has conducted relentless frontline research at great personal risk. We've interviewed survivors across multiple states. We've operated schools in 2 IDP camps for both Christians and Muslims, with a third under construction, with a present total of 550 students. We provide free, high-quality education, and we get to hear their stories and their parents' stories. Firsthand eyewitnesses. We filmed camps the UN and Nigerian government deny exist. I could take you to them. We recorded numerous IDP testimonials. We have, in fact, a YouTube channel, My Voice Matters, with firsthand eyewitness testimonials. In late 2024, my team visited and filmed in Goshe, in Gwoza, LGA, Borno State, a once thriving Christian farming community, now a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Recent 2025 attacks confirm ongoing devastation, with surviving Christians combined to militarized zones where leaving risks abduction or execution. Another aside, I wasn't, of course, able to go there, but the team that did connected with a small group there that have a small church that's in the protected zone. And it was not long afterwards we got sent roundabout a Boko Haram video with members of this church having their heads cut off with dull axes.
Whoa. Viewers' discretion, bro. The level of brutality that really happened during those active Boko Haram years is quite unfortunate that nobody's in jail for that. And I'm not talking about all those riffraffs, the low-level field Boko Haram agents. I'm talking about the real politicians, the real extremists, either local or international. Like, for us not to be able to even have a closure on that matter, we still have the Chibok girls issues. We still have the Boko Haram commander that dies almost every other year. It's quite unfortunate.
Okay, those were our friends. Our first-hand proof exposes a reality ignored by officials. Many people of Gwoza have been refugees in Cameroon for over a decade, abandoned by Nigeria, while those who return languish in the FCT, their homelands occupied by Boko Haram as the seat of its caliphate for years now. consistent pattern of destruction. Across regions and years, we've documented a chilling pattern. Churches destroyed. In Gwoza, when they came in Ngoshe, all 6 churches were burned, no mosques were burned.
See that? Yeah, and yeah, that's what happens. The mosques are spared at first. The Christian community are killed. Now, if you have the mosque and the Islamic community, if they are helpful to the insurgent, at times they spare them. If they're proven tough, then they go after the mosque. But primarily, that's what happens.
Christian homes torched, jihadists resettled and captured lands. Authorities deny or excuse the attacks, while some Muslims resisting extremism are targeted. Absolutely. The peaceful Muslims are targeted. The overwhelming...
That's what I said. The peaceful Muslims. And that's why the Islamic community needs to come in and do something about it. Not just the authority alone. What do you preach in your mouth? If you're standing up against extremism, they will attack you as a Muslim. But again, ordinarily, you know that the Christians are against that, so they are always the first point of attack.
Evidence. Thousands of churches raise obviously selective violence leads some to claim this is a faith-based genocide against Christians and those rejecting radical Islam. That's what some claim. What drives this violence? This has come from the highest level and the deepest research. And there's 3 primary drivers. It's not chaos, but it's calculated. One, radical, I think we all would refute and repudiate, but radical Islamic conquest. Armed groups, bolstered by foreign fighters from Libya, Sahel, post-Arab Spring, seek to impose extremist ideology with local enablers and political protection described by eyewitnesses as jihad by occupation. Blood mineral extraction. A former president is the one that pointed me in this direction.
Wow.
Nigeria, according to the government's estimates, which in my humble opinion are probably way low, Nigeria loses $9 billion annually to illicit mining of gold, tin, and lithium.
That's it. So you have the jihadists trying to say that, you know what, they're coming in to propagate whatever it is, their religion or their ideology. But also layered under that is the fact that they make those places ungovernable. They move out whoever is staying there due to insurgency, move them to the IDP camp. So as the Boko Haram guys are, or whatever insurgency are doing their stuff, then you have these foreign bodies coming in to mine the gold, to mine the resources. So you have it a multi-layered facet. That's for you that are asking, oh, why, how come? Where is the international play in all of this? Because how can you explain to me somebody that is fighting against Western education, Boko Haram, that's what it means. How can you explain to me the guy is taking an AK-47 developed by innovation from the Western university, Western education, and sitting down on a full military tank and doing whatever insurgency they are trying to do? It's because it is well coordinated.
Oftentimes these communities that are wiped out, you go back not long after and there's mounds of dirt from strip mining. $9 billion a year. And again, the government's estimates, with a significant portion estimated to be 10% funding violence and corruption. That's $900 million a year, at least, that's funding the violence and corruption that does this. That needs to be investigated. Heavy machinery and foreign buyers appear days after displacements, exploiting lands of the displaced. Politically realignment, war in some cases, and again, let me say this, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not saying just because an official here does it that's an indictment of the entire government. But war often masquerades as politics. Local government areas overrun, electoral districts redrawn by force, militants resettled, and each given 4 abducted wives to skew demographics, dismantling communities deemed inconvenient. This is fully documented. It shouldn't be debated. I'm just gonna go where the facts led me. There's a euphemism of farmer-herder clashes. Yes, those have happened for generations. The term farmer-herder clashes is, in many instances today, is cynical doublespeak, weaponizing historical land disputes to mask jihadist conquest. For centuries, herders and farmers coexisted with very rarely lethal disputes. Now, villages are systematically razed, churches leveled, and tens of thousands are dead. This is a systematic terror and not grazing conflicts. A lie akin.
You can see that RENO OMOKRI is uneasy. For the first time, RENO was actually held to a very, very tight corner. And I know that this was a very, very poor PR job, given that it has that penchant for trying to embellish stuff and try to lie about the truth. I mean, this was number one, it was done live. We're gonna do it live. It was done live. And he couldn't hide. And I've seen him done that a lot. Try to embellish the truth and try to make it like, okay, fine, we can actually look at it this way. No, you can't look at it any other way.
Calling Bosnia's ethnic cleansing a neighborhood spat. These targeted deadly attacks are the same whether labeled herders, bandits, or insurgents. The puppets may change, but the same forces pull the strings. A jihadi by any other name is just as deadly. Mincing words over labels appears to be intentional obfuscation. Now, at what level the people just say, that's what I was told, that's what was reported, and they, honest people can repeat things that are not true. Again, not indicting anybody, but in many of these instances, I would, if you're told it's a farmer-herder clash, I would compel you to dig deeper.
RENO couldn't even know that I had a call. Because this really was just like, no. It was an egg planted on his face. He knew he miscalculated. And I'm not a fan of the white man coming to tell us what to do. But when you don't do what you're expected to do, when you don't get results for what is expected from you, then you're going to be having stuff like this. Because you clearly can show that you're incapable of governing yourself. Because I don't need a Mike Arnold to tell me that there's a big problem in the North. And not just in the North alone. Look at what's happening in Southeast. Look at what happened in Kwara State just a few weeks ago. I spoke about that. I did a video. And in that Kwara State, even though you have a lot of Muslims in Kwara, do you know what's happening in Kwara? The young man that did a documentary showed us his village and said a church that housed 1,000 people is empty on a Sunday. So let's forget about this whole color. It's not a genocide, it's a genocide. I'm telling you, what are you doing about that to stop this killing? Because when you stop this killing, I don't care what name you give to it, and everybody lives in peace, then all of this show would not be happening. And it seems that the current government of the day don't even have what it takes to solve the security issue.
While global attention often focuses on Boko Haram and ISWAP, the majority of killings and displacements across the Middle Belt are in fact carried out by radical Islamist Fulani ethnic militia. Numerous field reports, satellite imagery, survivor testimonies confirm that these militant groups, often operating under political protection and mislabeled as herders, are responsible for the most widespread, systematic, and sustained attacks on Christian farming communities. Their campaigns extend well beyond traditional grazing disputes, encompassing organized massacres, forced displacement, and the strategic occupation of conquered lands. Today, these militias represent the single most lethal terrorist threat in Nigeria's internal stability, surpassing Boko Haram and ISWAP combined and reach frequency and civilian death toll. The crime of obfuscation. I've personally seen ongoing efforts by officials in their...
Was RENO trying to show the Islamic cleric there? You should see that this went out of his hand. He didn't know that this was what was coming. And the whole PR stunt backfired big time.
Oil media to bury the truth, sanitizing massacres as conflict, labeling displaced survivors, vagrants, and criminals, refusing to name perpetrators. This is not confusion, it is complicity. To play semantic games while people die is beyond obscene. There can be no solution while leaders play word games to hide the truth. And again, I'm not saying that everybody that repeats these things are doing it intentionally whatsoever, but at some level, there is a lot of manipulation taking place to hide the truth.
Yeah.
So let's get to the conclusion, because this is where it's important, because there is a legal definition of genocide. That's the question here. And it's not a vague thing. You don't want it to, you don't want it to be or not to be. And I did not start with my conclusion, I started with the evidence. Per Article 2 of the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in 1948, genocide includes acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. It includes killing members of the group, causing seriously bodily or mental harm, inflicting conditions to bring about physical destruction, preventing births within the group, forcibly transferring children to another group. This is the legal, international
Definition.
understanding definition of genocide. The evidence is undeniable. Targeted killings, mass displacement, destruction of homes and churches, denial of aid, and erasure of Christian identity. My conclusion, my formal findings, an objective expert and eyewitness, a longtime lover and traveler throughout Nigeria with access at the highest levels, based on more than 5 years of investigation, field interviews, first-hand documentation, and deep consultation with top scholars, statesmen, and legal experts, and I'm happy to introduce you to all of that. And this document has more than 15 citations. I declare this without any shadow of a doubt. The campaign of violence and displacement in northern and middle belt Nigeria does indeed constitute a calculated, current, and long-running genocide against Christian communities and other religious minorities without any reasonable doubt.
Wow.
To continue to deny this is to be complicit with these atrocities.
Wow.
I say this not in anger, but in truth and grief. My stated assignment from my host was to speak the truth, and I have done that to the best of my ability.
Wow.
I believe Nigeria has a bright future. I believe in Christian-Muslim harmony. I believe good people of every tribe and faith and party must stand against this evil, but first we must name it. Here I stand. I can do no other. So help me God.
Okay. So that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This was, you know, a good summarization of the issues. Again, for those who would want to say, oh, why would a white man come to tell me what to do? A white man will come and tell you what to do when those that you've put in authority or those that should do what they need to do has messed up the whole plot. And that's what's really happening now. So apparently this guy, Mike Arnold, okay, you know, came to Nigeria. It wasn't really known. I mean, according to him, he said he had just 114 followers. Look at him today. He has 20,000 followers. That means his story, his submission resonates with people. Look at the posts. He's only had 483 posts. And we could see that it didn't stop there. It gave us another thing. You know, this is another investigative report, you know, earlier investigation that was done in 2021. And this also aligns with my own theory. That when someone is going into communities, into villages, killing people, in the name of whatever, farmers and others, clashes or religion or whatever, sorry, there's nothing you can do about that than to destroy whoever is occupying your land in the name of terrorism. So this is what it's doing, right? Okay, look at this. The plot thickens and so does the local load of the millennium. It's about avoiding country of particular concern designation. RENO, I mean OMOKRI, says it will help the terrorists and not the common man. Seriously. That, my friend, is what Orwell called doublespeak. It's how evil overloads historically controls the masses. Okay, what are they afraid of is accountability. Now, again, you have to say, how do we solve this issue? And that's the main thing. How is this issue solved? How is this issue solved? Because you might say, okay, fine. You don't want them to designate these people, as a terrorist, and also Nigeria as a country of concern. But the problem is, not designating them will make this guy spread even more. Because last time I checked, they're at the backyard. Kwara State. Kwara State has the next state to the southwest. That's crazy. Again, what happened in Owo? It's on a Sunday morning. People going to church to pray, and you had these bandits. You call them bandits, I call them jihadists, because the audacity that you would have to go into a church and murder 50 people, including children. Remember what brought us to this topic? Was a night show host who is even not a Christian, saying, why are people shouting free Palestine when there are people being dead in Nigeria and everybody has forgotten about it? And a bigger question to me is this: what is happening with our pastors in the South? The last time we heard about the big projects, we heard about the yacht, the private jets, another auditorium being built. And in the hope that all of this thing happening will not get to the Southwest or the South-South or the Southeast. Remember, they came for everybody and I kept quiet. What has been done? I don't see that pressure coming from the southern mega rich pastors. They may be giving one or two things. They may be giving their own widow's mite, which I don't think they should be giving a widow's mite. Where has the forces been? Or is it that whatever is being collected from all those still East Northern Church are still being remitted to the headquarters, which happens to be maybe in the South? Why does it have to take a white man to come in to tell us there's genocide in the North, and we have bishops and we have pastors not even trying to move the needle? I mean, that's the question I ask myself. Because when you come to southern Nigeria, I mean, everybody's fine in court. And the way we look at what is happening in the North is those Northerners. It's those Northerners. I thought the Christian body should be one. Now, what happens to my brother in the North happens to me in the South. And I'm not saying that pastors should go out of their way and cause trouble in the South, but I'm saying that what leverage do you have to put an end to all of this? Because Kwara State, there. I mean, they just went in a whole village, turned to a deserted place. And it is what it is. So again, this guy has actually been on, Reno's case.
Say I've been around doing this since 1999 today. Are we really interested in protecting the common man? Are we really interested in defeating the terrorists? Because when you put Nigeria in country of particular concern, at this time, you are simply saying terrorists, go and have your way and destroy them. So the common people...
But that's not what being a country of particular concern means. It means that people need to look into what is happening. And I'm going to get to the response that Tinubu gave.
People you claim you want to protect, you are no longer thinking about them.
Because if Nigeria is declared a country of particular interest, guess who's going to benefit? The terrorists. That is what they want. The ordinary citizens in Nigeria are going to be poorer for it, and they're going to resent the United States. So to say that there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria is not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
Prophet, don't whisper.
Okay. So again, that's that about that. Now, well, isn't this interesting? So let's look at this.
Criminality is a criminality. It has no bound, it has no color, it has no religion.
Terrorism has no color and no religion and no tribe.
We can never get it right until we link it to any religious group.
It's not about religion.
This has never been a serious religious issue and should not be.
You know, we're not very good at keeping records, but it's quite possible that right now even more Muslims are being killed than Christians.
We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians.
These are areas where there have been ethnic clashes. Herders and farmers.
There are other incidents that happen to be in the Middle Belt, for example, where farmers are located. Most of these farmers happen to be Christian, and some herdsmen are going through, and they have these
Farmers don't just happen to be Christians, you know.
incidents.
Don't whisper!
I wouldn't want to put that gory image, but it's quite unfortunate just because of YouTube, right? It's quite unfortunate. So this guy has been saying Nigerian Christians, wake up. Let me see if I can pull this here. Yeah, Nigerian Christians, wake up. Your country is full of concentration camps. I didn't even know that there were 4 million people, and they said that was conservative. How do you have 4 million people in concentration camp? Because that's the deal, because most people are actually making money even from the concentration camp themselves. Supply of food, supply of amenities, and all of that. All of these things that spilled over from Jonathan. And that's why I'm surprised that some people still want Jonathan to come back. Like, dude, the guy didn't even have a control of what happened during his presidency. Okay? And that's the thing. So, again, it is what it is.
Coming warrior every day. And they expect us to silence. Now is an order. Nigerian government came out openly and denied there is no massacre. There is no genocide of Christians in Nigeria, and look at it today. Is there any Muslim?
Can you imagine? Is there any Muslim here? Wow. Wow.
United Nations, I know you're watching me. American Senate. You are watching what I'm doing, I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now, please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria.
This is a shame. No, this is a shame. This is a shame that we cannot govern ourselves anymore. Like, we don't even know what to do. So we needed a white man that is not even known in the US to come and tell us how we should lead ourselves. And that's a problem. That's a problem. What is our president doing? Despite the fact that what's he doing? He comes here to say my wife is a pastor. So how many people should be dead before we know what to do?
I'm grateful that I'm alive. And to God be the glory to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in return, and to come over here to wish a mother of community, the state, great faith, a humanitarian mother, a farewell. Even though I'm not going to Jungun village, I'm here with you in spirit. I will be there praying for our soul to be repose. He has left what every mother will pray for. a good son, was invited to make a national service. In a time where I don't run an orphanage.
All right, just to digress before we continue, what in the world is always having a soldier at the back of the president when he's giving a speech? What does that even mean? Is his chief of guard or whatever? Why should you have a soldier at the back of the president every time when he's giving a speech? I thought we're in a democracy. What does this symbol mean? Honestly, like, this is the most retarded display of democracy. You put a soldier. Have you seen Trump put a soldier at his back? Or even South African president? Or even Ghanaian president? Why should a soldier be standing at the back of the president every time? You could have people of the Secret Service stay in a strategic position. Having a police or a soldier at the back of the president when he's giving a speech is like, I don't even know. Like, we should stop some of these things. This is, it's just basically stupidity.
But for me, I've wholeheartedly granted your request. Then we have to have a family meeting to sort out the lingering, we gather to honor Mama, our dear mother, Madame Lydia Iwata. Professor Netanwe, our party chairman, you are a mother who lived a good life, and the fulfillment of life is to leave a good name behind, a good sibling. You are a good man. That is why we decided that you will lead us as our chairman.
Apparently, this is the mother of the APC party chairman now, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a great thinker, a progressive thinker, a performer. Thank you very much for being who you are. You could see the turnout of all the governors and all the executive members that's present here to share with you the joy of today. Make it a joyful day that you bury your mother.
Let's move on.
Aha! You survived, you must succeed.
Okay.
And God will grant your prayers. Just live a dedicated life to humanity and dedicate ourselves to God Almighty. A visit should bring joys to your heart. To the clergies,
okay.
Thank you very much for the solemn position. Thank you for the promotion of peace, stability, and friendliness. Hate is not an option for us.
Okay.
Love is what you preach. that we should love one another. Nobody determine what God has ordained. God's ordained action and his prophecies is what matters. I inherited Islam from my family. I didn't change. But my wife is a pastor. She prays for me. No conflict.
Oh, so again, that's your personal life. Which, I mean, that's what you've chosen to do, but that's not the reality of what is happening in some areas that has been besieged by extremists in Nigeria. And that's where the question comes. What are you doing about it? Whatever you're doing about it for the past few months or few years have not yielded the desired results that people want. But let's continue.
And I never did at any single time to convince her or convert her. I believe in the freedom of religion. We are praying to the same God.
Okay, that's your belief. Apparently, people going into villages, killing people, people burning churches and mosques, but primarily churches, don't have that same belief. And your personal belief is to you. Your duty is to the nation to ensure that those people that are going about killing people, those people that are going about kidnapping people for ransom, thereby buying more weapons to kill more people and to burn more churches, are dealt with decisively.
Answerable to the same Almighty God. We will answer to him. We will account to him. Our deed, our character, our love to our fellow beings is what is important. Not the method and the faithful for being. To Almighty, we pray to accept the soul of Lydia and give all that she left behind a blessing and glory, to say, may her soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
So again, nothing much to take from here.
Pleasure of lives.
Yeah, nothing much to take from here. It's just quite unfortunate. And while the issue in the north is still happening, I mean, for people that have been out of their homes for the past 14 years now, since 2010, IDP camps are just all over the place in the country. I don't think we can even call those places IDP camps again. Seriously. I mean, if you've left your home and you're living in a place for the past 10 years, even those that are not displaced, they don't live in a place for for up to 10 years. People move within 2 years, 3 years. Okay? So how come someone is in IDP for the past 10 years? Is no longer an IDP, is already in their own permanent home? Because how do you explain that? How do you explain that? And again, it is what it is. So what I want to see is a real decisive solution to the issue happening in the northern side of the country and now spilling over and almost getting itself to some part of the southern part of this country. And that itself can be allowed to happen. So again, I've spent a lot of time talking about this issue because it's really dear to me. Maybe people don't want to listen to it. People don't want to talk about it. The killings in the north, the state of like, imagine you being a Christian in the northern Nigeria. Like, you just don't know. Especially when you're living in all those places that is being besieged by radical extremists and violent thugs. And there's been no decisive action about it. Few days ago, I was talking about what should be done, because it's not just good for you to talk about it. You have to talk about the actions. These are layered, I would say, extremist execution. Okay, it's been layered. So you have those that are just the ideologists that are just focusing on that ideology, but then you have those that are also benefiting from it. So those that are benefiting from it are those that are not living in those areas. They may not even be living in the country Nigeria. That's like what we're made to know, that those that are actually was planned October 7 in Israel and Gaza, the conflict, that those people that orchestrated that conflict were actually living in their luxurious apartment in Qatar. So it's not just a matter of don't kill your brother, don't kill your sister. There must be decisive action taken to get those people and solve them out. Whatever it is to make them stop doing that, you have to do it. But again, that's that about that. I need to move on. And it's quite interesting because let's talk a little bit about politics. 2027 is around the corner, and I must tell you, it's over. It's over. It's over. There's even no way you want to spin it. It's over. I was just saying this week, the governor of Bayelsa and the governor of Enugu State defected. And that's crazy. There's a lot for me to talk about here. Let me first see this before I talk about the defection. Yahaya Bello, this guy that was wanted for so much sums of billions of naira. Okay, former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello facing EFCC allegation of diverting over 80 billion naira. That's why you have terrorism. I'm sorry, I'm going back to that. During his, he stole 80 billion during his 2016 to 2024 tenure, has endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I thought this guy should be in EFCC's net trying to clear his name on the alleged crime of siphoning 80 billion naira. Okay. So they're saying that, he endorsed Tinubu. He doesn't need to endorse Tinubu with the current structure on ground. It's over. It's over. It's over. The best political ally, and I'm going to say it here, the best political ally that Tinubu has had since he started his contest for the 2023 election and going also to 2027, the best political ally, the best gift that keeps giving in this 2027 is nobody but Peter Obi. He's God sent to Tinubu. Oh, he's the toughest opposition in the country. The guy, when he talks, people, no, it doesn't work that way. Peter Obi gave Tinubu the express entry to Aso Rock. Forget about all the other gymnastics. Forget about the tweets. Forget about him popping up in every places where there are issues. He did help Tinubu to become the president. And he will also help him in his 2027 run. I have a theory about that. And there's no doubt in my mind. Because when you break a block of votes into two, it's going to be divided by two. So that was what happened in 2023. It's not a matter of the suppressed votes for some places in Lagos, but meanwhile, in some part of the country, in the southeast, precisely, 95% voted for Obi. That same election that you guys called that it wasn't fair. If I'm a journalist, if I'm investigating, I'll first look at where there was a 95%, because that is where there might be a high probability of suppression to those in the other parties. But people don't understand this thing because people don't think in logic. People don't think in logic. So let's see this guy now. We will not wait for God to send an angel with wings to fly into Nigeria to fix it. Should I tell you who the angel is? The angel is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Today, we have the president who is courageous, who is taking this country to the next level. There are decisions that are tough to be made, of which several heads of states and presidents were unable to take. Political decisions, economic decisions, and several other tough decisions. Instead of Mr. President to be thinking of 2027 elections, because he's a politician, he decided to take the bulls by the horn. His various economic policies, ranging from floating the naira, the exchange rate, to taking decision on withdrawal of subsidy, opening the economy for each and every one of us to thrive. Private investors, corporate individuals, they are thriving. You can only go as far as your capacity can take you. Farmers, artisans, students, and several other achievements of Mr. President. They are all there in the media for you to know. You are free to verify them. If somebody is taking these decisions, we urge him to continue. Let me tell you that if you don't make a courageous decision in this country, you cannot go anywhere.
Nigeria is a tough country. I mean, Nigeria is a very, very tough country. I don't even know. I don't even know which one is even worse, the leaders or the citizens. Nigerians, because the leaders come from the citizens. I'm telling you. And what we do to ourselves as citizens at times even is worse than what some politicians do. Not all, because some politicians are devils anyways. But I'm just saying.
Mr. President have a lion's heart.
So this guy should go and defend himself, because $80 billion, naira, 80 billion naira is alleged to have been stolen. You don't need to come and tell us about the president. You need to go defend yourself, because that means if they can allege that you did it and they can prove that you did it, you did steal that money, then you're part of the problem. And a lot of the people in the Senate too, former governors, there are a lot of corruption cases against them. You're not a solution, you're part of the problem. But again, it's Nigeria for you. What more can I say? Yeah, this is the same thing again. 2027, Tinubu doesn't need to campaign in Kogi. There is no opposition here. Yahaya Bello boasts. Kogi State Governor, okay, Yahaya Bello has declared that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not need to campaign in Kogi State ahead of the 2020 general election. Exactly. The opposition, like I said, Peter Obi is the opposition that keeps giving. The opposition in Nigeria now is zero. Zero. This guy is looking for EFCC. Isn't Yahaya Bello supposed to be on trial? That's a good question. That's a freaking good question. Okay, so again, that's that. Is the only one they're showing here. Let's see. Okay, you don't need to come to Kogi. Yeah, no wala. God, go and answer to your charges. Exactly. You should let us know what he's done. A citizen suffer economic hardship under APC. Yahaya Bello's declared Tinubu is angel sent by God to fix Nigeria. Okay, no comment on that. It is what it is. Okay, so let me move on. That's just by the sideways. Let's see what happens. I don't know who Wahab Aisha is. In Auchi. Is that related to this? Yeah, so let me talk about what's been happening. Let me try and duplicate this again. Let me talk about what's been happening with the opposition and also what's been happening recently with the defection. So let me see. Enugu State, Enugu Governor. APC. Let's see what's been happening. Now, the chairman, deputy chairman, secretary, councillor, supervisors, SPA, SSAs, the senior, what do they call them again? Special assistant and the special assistant, and all stakeholders of Enugu North local government across the 13 wards have officially announced their defection to the All Progressive Congress. Let's listen.
All right, let's take it up a bit. Tomorrow is
Right, it's unfortunate that the opposition who failed, I don't know what El-Rufai is thinking right now. El-Rufai that was boasting that Tinubu is going to get third, struggling to get third, is finding out right now. He's finding out right now. Because when you do stuff out of annoyance, out of anger, and you don't even understand your moves, I'm sorry. When it all comes crashing down, you only have yourself to blame. Okay? And that's the thing. Man did not win any election. PDP helped rig him into power, minding his forged certificate. I'm hearing that he's decamping to APC, thereby returning Enugu State to APC states. I wonder who is advising him. India Enugu are not foolish. Oh, Dikwa risky or Dikwa risky. Enugu State says no to APC. Okay? Okay. Following a crucial meeting of the stakeholder of Enugu North local government area, we unanimously resolved to align with the center and fully embrace the renewed hope agenda under the platform of the APC. Okay, we've seen this again. Enugu State APC is fake. They are stomach-giving APC and only interested in 2027 elections. See, let me tell you something. It doesn't really matter. I don't even think APC is going to win Enugu State. To be honest with you. I don't think they're going to win Enugu State. But again, Tinubu is not going to get 5%. He's not going to get 5%. I won't be shocked. I won't be surprised if they're able to get something close to maybe a 30% or a 40%. Because all the structure of the states and all the canvassing will be done now at the grassroots level to help APC. The biggest mistake of Atiku that Atiku made in this 2027, the biggest mistake he made in 2023 was to allow Peter Obi to run independently. That was good for Obi, but it wasn't good for Atiku. Because Obi was now able to get as much political capital that he needed. Okay? And that's it. So that's it. I mean, this maybe I don't even believe for one day that you will see this level of acceptance. And that's why, all these guys underestimated Tinubu. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They all underestimated Tinubu. The guy will be doing like he doesn't know what he's doing. And you people will be piling on him, right? You'll be piling. Guy will just be looking. Even the way he talks. And then before you say Jack, you just see different things happening. The mistake the opposition made was not to have kept their own home in order. The focus was not uniting to win. The focus was, I want to win. Please unite with me. No, it wasn't uniting to win. It was that I want to win. Unite with me. That would not take you further. I mean, if you're so serious to say, oh, this guy, Tinubu, needs to go, then I think you should have actually have a better plan and strategy. And that didn't happen. So now you have him gone. Now let's talk about this guy. Oti. Oti is the last man standing for LP. And I know that Alex Oti, he himself right now is considering what would happen. I don't see him leaving LP at the moment. I don't see him leaving LP as we speak, because we're still talking about defection. I don't see him leaving LP. Now, I may be wrong, because I believe he holds a moral obligation to the obedient. The last thing you want to do is to give the obedient a final heart attack for Obi to leave. So, for Oti to leave. He's not going to leave now. But I assure you, if Labour Party does not get his acts together, it's going to leave them. Maybe not now, maybe after 2027, once he wins his second term. Because I believe that he should be given the opportunity to serve second term. Abia State have not been lucky with past governors. I don't understand why. Like, a lot of things that this guy is doing right now in Enugu, in Abia State, should have been done way before now. So again, there's a little bit of a sense of, progress happening. And I also understand that there's a lot committed to his information budget to ensure that he's at least having a good positive look out there. But if you don't get Labour Party together, it will be left with no choice than to move out. And I think Kenneth Okonkwo, the actor, has already come out to tell you that the obedient mob, according to him, is not helping Peter Obi's election case. So we don't know. This is the guy that I don't expect him to defect. But again, I won't be surprised if he doesn't canvass as much as he should for Obi. Because he could be doing, like, now, this is what we are seeing. There's still a lot of backdoor deals happening. A lot of backdoor deals. In the Abia 2027 is a do or die. Is a do or die again, I feel. Right. I think he should win because I don't necessarily love the past governors. The party in Owerri for Enugu just now after a successful event in Imo and ahead of the signing of our new player tomorrow in Enugu. That's the governor of Enugu, Governor Mba. Again, there are a lot of horse trading going on right now. But it is what it is. This is following a crucial meeting, of the stakeholder of Enugu local government, we unanimously resolved to align with the center. Okay, so I've spoken about that. It is good that Enugu has joined APC, so the IPOB toga will be washed away, and the Enugu ICON will no longer be manned by IPOB. I'm so happy. I don't know what this guy is talking about. Again, it is what it is, and that's it. That's it. And that's it. I don't know what the opposition can do now, because we're now just into 2026 already. Like Atiku leaving PDP for an ADC that has no structure, that has no state offices, and now they're issuing an ultimatum to Obi to join them or forget about it. It's over. When last did you hear from El Rufai? When last? Anyways, it is what it is. So I just wanted to just touch on that one. So there's been this story going on with respect to Very Dark Man. And I try as much as possible not to wade into that issue or not to wade into that story. Especially whatever Very Dark Man does. Because left to me, I believe that he's been able to get a good hotspot in the social media space of Nigeria. And again, he's been able to get people that trade in emotions, not to see things clearly as it should be. And I keep asking everybody, and I keep asking people, can someone tell me for the 1,999 times any case that this guy, so-called VDM guy, has really helped to resolve? And people are like, oh, this guy is fighting for us. You know what really interests me and what really makes me laugh is when I read people's comments to this VDM guy. And I'm like, wow. And I understand why at times we get the kind of leaders we get. Because people trade in emotions and they cannot logically think before coming to their decision. And they think maybe they do it for virtue signaling. Not even the fact that some people who call themselves content creators and bloggers don't even sit down to think like, okay, fine. If I'm following this guy, where does this lead? So there's been this story between Very Dark Man and is it B Lord or whatever his name is. I don't really know much about him, but I think he's also an influencer. So social media activist VDM was confronted by Igbo businessman in Guangzhou, China on Saturday amidst his online expose of entrepreneur Harrison B Lord for allegedly inflating prices on imported gadgets like iPhone sourced from China. VDM defended his action by questioning the community's contribution and rejecting tribal biases. While the incidents underscore tension in Nigeria electronics import trade dominated by Igbo traders, viral videos of the clash has amplified the debates on transparency in the sector. Okay. Let me tell you who is benefiting from this saga. It's not the people. The people are not benefiting. You know who is benefiting from this? Let me shock you. And who is ultimately going to benefit from this whole thing when it's over? Is the guy B Lord. Is the guy B Lord. Do you know what has happened? Because people don't even understand. People don't think. People don't reason. That this guy, this VDM, this is what I call unintended consequences. This is what I call unintended consequences. So let's assume that this B Lord actually went to China, went to get a fake phone for fake people to live their fake life, to impress people that don't even love them and will never love them. Because how on earth will you want to use an iPhone XR on an iPhone 17 case? It means you're retarded. So this is going to have a bigger issue and bigger ramification at the end of the day. But let me tell you how B Lord benefits from this. If I'm a trader, okay, and I have my contacts in China, and I know that B Lord is selling this thing for 450,000, and my plan was actually to bring it in based on fair market, free market, demand and supply, and maybe sell a little bit lower at 400, because that's how it works. That's how it works. He's saying that, oh, everything is 280, but the dude has not even imported phones to sell to people. All he's done is make content. So he hasn't put in the works. He hasn't done the clearance. He hasn't rented a shop. He hasn't done anything for warehouse. There are times when goods get stolen, or due to one thing or the other, you can't even ship it, or you ship a lot and it's impounded. There's a reason why when iPhone first comes out, it sells for millions of naira. And then after a while, the same iPhone sells for lesser. You could say Apple wants to shunt everybody by selling iPhone for millions of naira. But that is just the model of that industry. Oh, B Lord is extorting people. B Lord is doing this and that. This is a free market. The reason why B Lord is going to gain at the end of all this debacle is this. Nobody in their right senses will go in now to say they want to sell that kind of a phone at the price that VDM is saying. Because VDM's price model does not actually hold in reality. No shop, no insurance, no warehouse, no seller, nothing. It should have allowed B Lord to sell his own at 450, then import your own and put it at 380 or 300. What happens? B Lord will be forced to reduce the price. That's how it works. You don't even need to to argue with Billard on the phone. Now, nobody will go in to buy that phone and bring it in at 280 at zero margin or next to zero margin, maybe 5% or 10% margin. You need something like a 50% margin to cover all the other costs involved. So nobody's going to go in now because it's really contentious right now. So what happens? Billard will keep shipping in his phone because nobody can compete with him because of what VDM's Wahala and sell lower than 280 that he has said, that he has fixed for himself. That is not the forces of demand and supply. That's just a content creator price tag that bears no resemblance in reality. So VDM will still be bringing his own phone, selling it at 450. No new people will come in because it becomes very difficult to compete at an higher price because now there's an expectation in the mind of the consumers that this thing should be 280. So what happens over time, VDM is going to move on because it does nothing. The guy does nothing. Tell me one issue that the guy has resolved successfully. He's got 200 million or 300 million. Tell me the villages that he has given pipe-borne water. Tell me the local government that he has done his reach. The dude was there for how many years and then came out and said, oh, I'm renovating an office for my foundation after 2 years. Having 200 million. Today it is, oh, the account was hacked. Tomorrow it is, oh, it wasn't hacked. Tell me what issue. The issue with Mercy Chinwo and this other, and his producer, or his director, it was eventually resolved out of court without VDM's help. Okay? Yeah. What other issue? The issue with who killed Mohbad. Hello? Who killed Mohbad? Okay, he did all this series, talked to Mohbad's dad, talked to Sam Larry, talked to everybody, and then I was like, okay, fine, we're now getting closer to understand who killed Mohbad. And then the dude just came up one morning and said, oh, the only person that can tell us who killed Mohbad is Instablog. I'm like, dude, are you okay? And then you have everybody say, oh, this guy is this guy is that. He leaves that case again, he moves on. Tell me one case that this guy has resolved. Then the case with, what is it called again? Is it Fina? It wasn't resolved. He moved on. And the person that I was trying to help came back to say, oh, he did her more harm than good. And then there was a little drama. It's just drama. He moved on again. What about the issue of GTB stole money from his mom? Was that also resolved? No. Because apparently, the mom actually took money from GT and she didn't pay back, and GT had to direct debit the mom, and then it came online. That was the easiest investigation he could have ever done in his life because it was your mom and it was GTB. So you have all the access to your mom, all the access to the account. He came out, made a fool of himself, and then came back to say, okay, that's it. And then what about the countless number of people that this guy, directly or indirectly, has destroyed their lives? Went against Nedu. And I'm not saying Nedu is a saint, but I'm just saying that's how it works. Create a controversy, stir up emotions, and then move on. So the Igbos are now like, this is an attack. But yesterday was also attacking the Yorubas with respect to Lagos. So again, you have to ask yourself, do we support him when it favors me? Now it doesn't favor me. Now you're now saying, oh, he's attacking the Igbo. I don't think he's attacking the Igbo. He's just creating his own content. And that's it. So again, the forces of demand and supply naturally should have been expected to bring down the price. Because when they see that this phone is actually 280 and Billard is selling for 450 and Billard can sell the phone the price he wants, that is what free market does. You sell it the price you want to sell it. It doesn't really matter. What determines is if the consumers can buy. And if you're selling a fake quality, that's another question of the consumers will come in and give you a review. And if you can't hold on for a longer time, you lose out in the market space.
Don't talk what you don't know. Why those men? All those
So this is him in China.
How many of them you don't see the problem where affect your state they talk?
That guy to know.
Tell me now, the day where you go tell me, we won't hear them talk. You understand? Yeah. This is on the Kalu, why they no come for it? But you made a talk. The video, you never come for it. What's the story? You never do about protest. Calm down. If you are you there, you don't do anyone. You don't do anyone. If I go, when was it? Bro, when I go Google that time, how many people go Google? How many of them are big people, businessmen? Don't say NAFTA go shop. Which business where you make mistake in that name way. By calling his name is wrong. If I show you something,
You see that? Because I mean, people are like, oh, they had beef. You had beef is different from you coming out to call someone and saying that you're attacking the business. Why? Because he made himself available to do business. Every other person can also do business. You can actually get contacts in China today. Just go to Alibaba.com and build your contact, travel there, give them the specimen. It's OEM, right? So why would he just try to destroy someone's business and you yourself don't even have a shop?
Even me, no, leave issue. When he himself they advertise, he they tell people say, may they not buy from Nigeria, may they buy from only here. They don't. When you people want something, you don't clear. Where are they? You said they spoil people's home. Your own will spoil.
He's not spoiling anybody's home because he said they should buy from him. Don't buy from Nigeria is a different. Like, how does that destroy somebody else's business? Now, I don't know this guy. I don't know if he's legit or not. But I'm saying, based on business principles, you don't do that. You don't even try to do that at all.
Bro, I can call anybody's name. Wait, no. Nobody for that one. I think continue. I think anybody. Nobody will do nothing. I can wake up in the morning, you understand? And I'll say, God will punish you. It is insult, no level.
You see that? A low level, retarded thing. But again, you know, for content, for entertainment, I'm good with that. For entertainment, I'm good with that.
No, what are you telling me? What are you talking about?
Again, that's it. So they're confronting him now, saying that he made a mistake. He made a mistake by calling Bill Laden. Some people men confront very dark man in China. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so that's it. We'll see where all of these, okay, what has it done to enhance? That's not the issue. That's not the issue. You yourself, what have you done? I mean, again, that's the thing. Like you say, what has it done to enhance the life of Nigerians? Is different from him standing on principles, saying that he shouldn't have done that. Okay. But again, it is what it is. I don't want to dwell too much on this issue because, again, it's just zero sum. It's just zero sum for me. Because right now, the person benefiting from all of this is Billard. Because once you bring in an exogenous factor, and this is what I mean, other people would not want to get into that business now. Maybe later they will. They just want to see let the dust settle between this argument and the fight. Okay? And then people are like, oh, BDM should be careful among these people. This is how they killed this young man. Now, this young man was that fish seller by trying to make life easier for the people of Anambra by not inflating price. What's part? His Igbo brother is still justifying his debt. VDM, you're a big asset to Nigeria. Stay away from them. Again, it is what it is. I'm not going to argue for or even against. But again, the whole argument doesn't even hold waters. It doesn't. Because, no. Do you expect? And again, it's been like, okay, fine. It's not a matter of Billard. He's just using all of this as more as a framing. okay, to go after the guy. It has nothing to do with the phone. It has nothing to do with the phone. It was because B-Lord, you know, called him names in 2024. That's why. It has nothing to do with helping you be able to afford a fake phone, to live a fake life, to impress fake people that don't love you, that don't like you, that will never like you. Like, what retarded way of life is that? Anybody that buys that, you can't even buy the iPhone 17 anymore because it's been synonymous to fakeness. And that's also going to affect Apple as a company. The real iPhone 17, like if you have an iPhone 17 now, the question would be, is it a B-Lord version or a VDM version or an Apple version? And that's quite ridiculous. This guy gets sense past to give up on life. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. And again, yeah, Igbos will always stand behind each other no matter if what their brother doing is bad. What is their brother doing that is bad in that the guy wanted to bring a phone to help people live their fake life? The principle of economics does not even hold. Free market. If you think that is exploiting people, go make your contact. He's not the only person selling phone in Nigeria. Make your contact, get your people, and come and sell. And let's see if B-Lord would not be forced to bring down the price. Let's see. Let's see. When MTN was charging everybody per minute billing, Dangote didn't go. Sorry, I said Dangote. Why is Dangote in my head right now? I mean, the guy's been in the news for the opting time. Adenuga did not go and say Dangote is evil. Oh my God. Adenuga did not go and say MTN is evil. He just said we're going to bring per second billing. And that was his own entrance into the market. And when he did that, what happened? MTN responded. And they started per second billing. If VDM has been able to bring the phones in successfully and set up its distribution, and I don't want to go into the whole story of, he dropped a contact, the name is the name of the sister and all that. I don't want to go into that. That's just distraction. If he's been able to successfully even drop the name of the sister, bring on the phone, and sell at 280, and he's been able to clear refunds and chargebacks, and some of them won't work. So you're just looking at it as based on one phone. No, you have to look at it as scale. I'm not a fan of both of them. B-Lord maybe shouldn't have done some things that he did in response to VDM's attack. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay, so that's that about that. Let me see if there's anything trending that I just want to talk about before I call it a day. Why is Aisha the first person on my feed today? This Andu has not had any interaction in over 5 years. Sincerely, hope all is okay. State of the nation. You're not an activist, you're a rude, irrelevant anarchist. What? It was in 2019. So what's happening? Why is she calling this up? The question should be, what did you do to the handler? So you have turned to monitoring spirit. You've turned to monitoring spirit. Madam, don't go meet bygones. Okay, that's it. Let me see if there is any other thing I'm going to talk about. Igbo man confronts VDM in China for spoiling B-Lord's business. Okay. Sorry, what's this? Okay, no, bye. Wait. This is a scary video. Okay, this is scary. Video surfaces of a self-acclaimed woman of God. Now, I don't deal in all this kind of prophecy thing, but she calls herself Mama Africa, prophesying about Regina Daniel 2 years ago, and her prophecy was 100% accurate. She said Ned constantly flogged Regina like a child. Regina was there for the money, lying to the public. Now, prophecy, acclaimed prophecy, right? Lying to the public that she was happy. She said a video will hit the internet soon, which just did. Then she went on to say Regina would divorce Ned, draw closer to God, follow her heart, and remarry. Regina gets married to her Prince Charming and lives happily life after. Oh boy.
This video is for Regina Daniels. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, this is not an endorsement. Just, let's see what happens.
I saw that your husband Ned has been hitting you. The last time he hit you, you were putting on a black polo and a trouser that has cotton material. He was using a cane to whoop you on your ass as if you're a baby and you were crying and you were calling your mother. And she was not there to save you. Only God can save you. The only thing that makes you happy in that relationship is the money that he gives you. That's all you can boast about. But deep down, you are crying and you're not happy. And now you're used to the money, because even Adekule Goat sang this in his song. The money doesn't give happiness. It's when he had money, that's when he...
Prophecy entered Adekule Goat's song now. Right. How right? This is ridiculous.
He realized. Olamide also said the same thing. The money doesn't give happiness. Go and ask people who are in money. You will get used to it.
Dear prophetess.
This is why you have to be careful. And I had saw something that had to do with lesbians. And I know you'll be denying it, Regina. You're going to lie about this. But let me tell you, there is a dark woman that's coming into his life recently, if she's not already there. Okay? And this dark woman, Ned wanted to start hitting her the same way he does hit you. And she disgraced him. She called the police at him. She disgraced him in the way that people were beating him. Please, Regina. He thought that he's smart, but God will smart him. Do not settle for what you're not supposed to settle for. Do not be afraid to walk out of this just because you did a barbaric, superstitious kind of wedding with him where you guys wore white with your mother so that you can never live in. Let me tell you, there is no power that is greater than the name of Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. If I tell you I know what to say about this incident, I'm clearly lying. I don't even know. No comment. Let me just listen. And this is not, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, all she's saying it from a prophecy standpoint of view, which I don't know really. To be honest, I don't know.
There is no concussion, no spell that God cannot break, because he is wicked. What? Ned, you are wicked. You are a disgrace. And
what the hell?
That disappointment. And you're here doing political campaigns and the rest. You have a lot of wives and you're taking their destinies and their shine. That is why you will not die soon, but you'll be disgraced. Watch out and see. I am Mama Africa. I am the power that runs this universe, and I hate.
My God, what the hell is this?
To see my children in pain. I am not saying this to disgrace you, Regina. I am so sorry, sweetheart. I am sorry, dear child, for what is happening to you. Anybody that laughs at her, whether in the comment section or intentionally or by mistake, the calamity that will befall upon you will be worse. I do not. Of you are disgusting. You cheat on your spouses and then you go sleep with married people, fornicate, adultery, and do a lot of disgusting, and you come here. Anybody, in the name of Jesus Christ, everybody will bow and confess that Jesus Christ the Lord. Do not listen to your mother or to your
man. They need to be treating people in this country. I mean, what the hell is this?
Friend or to anybody when you want to get married, because they will not be there with you to face the consequences of the marriage. Only you will face it. Follow your
she resembles Regina in a way. I'm just saying.
Heart. Before you get married, even if you love somebody, pray about it. Take a week, take 2 weeks, take a month. God will answer you.
Who told you she didn't pray about it? Who told her she didn't pray about it?
He will answer in your vision and in one way or the other, especially in your dreams. That is how you will know. If he does not show you that person, wait, something good is coming.
This is the ridiculous way that they brainwash people with religion. I mean, this is ridiculous. He's going to show you in your dreams. Really? Where is that written in the Bible? Just say. And you prayed and it shows you in your dream, like, all of those, I was sleeping. Bro, you were sleeping because you've been thinking about the chick. And then you saw it in the dream. Why would you see it in the dream? Because that's what you think about 247, bro. And then I saw you in my dream and you were carrying, say, no, go back and sleep. No, I'm not the one you saw, bro.
Love is beautiful. God is love and family is good. But do not settle for what you are not supposed to settle for.
With the Ferrari.
Are you listening to me? I am the power that runs this universe. Please be careful. And I know you would deny this, Regina Danis. You denied it. But I'm seeing the press. They will gather and they will ask because there's a video that's going to be leaked of the wicked thing that he's doing to you. Watch out and see. Ned, you a disgrace. Regina, do not be afraid to walk out and go and find what is for you. God, and I am praying for you. And even the times you were sick, I saw it before you started to post it. Please, go and be with something that you love. May the peace of the Lord be with you all in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Oh boy. Finally, everything she said 2 years ago has happened. I'm sorry to laugh, but was the thunder necessary?
This video is for Regina Danis. Hello.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any comment. It's a family matter. They're going to sort it out. At least who NED NWOKO wasn't eating. Okay, so they're gonna sort themselves out. Okay, it's got the money. I don't know if it's got a piece, but it's got the money. And there was a pull factor, anyways. There was a pull factor, and she saw that. I remember the story someone said that he wanted to go marry, and then this guy that came to propose to the lady, she came in with a very good car, came in with everything, and then the guy, and I don't know if it's a true story, but it was just interesting. Came in and then, said, I wanted to, we've seen a woman and you wanted to do this. And then the mother of the girl was always like saying, why haven't you given this guy, something like a response and all that? And I said, well, God hasn't showed her anything about the man. And God has not showed her anything, blah, 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 blah. And then the woman said, what do you want God to show you? Can't you see the car? Can't you see the guy? Can't you see the money? All of these things. So again, marriage is a very delicate thing. And I don't want to wade in here for or against. I think they should settle themselves, and whatever it is what it is. So again, that's just it. So that's the reality. I mean, recently there was also this video where she
What the hell? She was saying that. I swear to God. She said, you're not my father. I said, no, I'm your husband. Go to bed. He said, please, let go. You are my everything. Please, you have to do my house every
day. Anyways, that's just that about that. And on this note, I'm gonna end this stuff. I saw this recently too, right? So someone is saying this is the video that crashed the wedding. Let's see. Okay, it is what it is. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I think when I'm back, I'm going to talk about the INEC stuff, the new chairman, the outgoing chairman, and all the story around that. And if there are other things to talk about, I'm going to be talking about it. Again, there's this story that there was actually a coup. I don't know if this is true, a coup plan. I need to. I wouldn't want to put. I need to look into this story really to be able to understand what's happening. EFCC is also trending. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. We'll see what's happening around that. There's also the banter between Obi and Wike right now. It's quite ridiculous what's happening at that end, but it is what it is. I don't know, the life of Senator Dino Milai. I don't know how the guy always have a cameraman to video him from his bedroom to his car park. But again, it is what it is. Okay. So that's that about that. What do you think about this report? Nigeria Defense Intelligence detained Brigadier General order of over alleged coup plot to overthrow President Tinubu. It's our reporters. I wouldn't give them so much credibility, really. Now that you have most of these people out. What's up with Dino and Dangote? This is the third video I'm seeing right now. And I don't know what Dangote is. Dangote working on a PR stuff, because I think his action with the Pengasan issue and his staff, I think that really impacted him PR wise. So is he trying to kind of wash his image? I just think Dangote really cares about anything, really, to be honest with you. People like Dangote, they are real mafias. I don't think he really cares about anything. But again, let me see what he wants to say.
Well, I want to encourage all Nigerians to buy only made in Nigeria. When you buy anything made in Nigeria, you are helping to create jobs. And the only
You know why I paused? How do we know? Is this shirt from Nigeria? Is this jeans from Nigeria? Is this shoe from Nigeria? Bro, the table behind him, is it from Nigeria?
Well, I want to encourage all Nigerians to buy only made in
That phone I did, is it from Nigeria?
When you buy anything made in Nigeria, you are helping to create jobs. And the only way for us to be a stronger nation is to patronize ourselves and be buying made in Nigeria only, so that we can encourage great jobs and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and may God bless.
I agree with him that we should actually be patriotic and buy made in Nigeria stuff also, but the question of quality also matters. The question also of availability also matters. And again, I think the right person to direct that to is one, also the government making sure that they can actually invest heavily and even subsidize. Now, I'm not talking about petrol subsidy. I'm saying they're trying to create infrastructure at a very, very reasonable price for people to come in and produce. That was what China did. Remember when we had all those big China phones? It's no longer like that today. They've been able to turbocharge that to move their country forward. So I agree 100%. Like, we should be at the forefront of all of this thing happening. Number one, we have good wage rates, and I don't think it's good like that, but at least reasonable wage rate that can actually invite foreign investment. They can even come and set up a plant, but you have to answer the question when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to security, and all of these other things that surrounds that. So I agree. I mean, I'm a proud Nigerian. I love Nigeria. I mean, I love Nigeria, to be honest with you. But again, a lot of things has to be sorted. But again, that's that. Let me just see if there's still any other thing I want to talk about here. What's this? Yeah. I want to flood the street out of voting with no placard, but with machete, stones, and all that. Guess what the authorities are scared of? You see, there's been always this push for violence that has been coming from the obedience side. And I've been seeing that, I've just kind of ignored it. But there's been constant push for violence come 2027. And they've been at the forefront of talking about that. So there was this campaign of Rig and Die. Necessarily, I think that if you want to even say that, you have to ensure that you have your own apparatus well figured out. There's a global, this is Chinedu Gbadebo Revival. There's a global contingent of youth consciousness and reawakening from Kathmandu to Antananarivo, and now you're there. I don't know. Young people frustrated by years of stagnation and deprivation are rejecting corrupt and incompetent political elites. As Thomas Jefferson stressed, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, those are the three things that like the major, mantra of the United States. It is the right of the people to alter it and to institute new government. This is coming from someone that seeks to be the governor of Lagos State. We've seen this happen 2011, 2012. With the Syria uprising, where is Syria today? With the Libya uprising, where is Libya today? They've left those places worse than they were. So I'm not saying that people should not voice their opinions, I'm not saying that people should not protest, but you damn well know what you're doing. Because the problem is that those that will die will be the innocent ones. But these big wigs will use that to cruise in towards victory. They use the NSAS to win some seats. Hence, we have the obedient movement. Where are the senators today? That one on the back of NSAS protest and one on the back of obedient movement, they've all defected. Most of them have defected to APC. That's it. Most of the people that benefit from some of these struggles are people that never even lifted a finger. Okay? And that is what happens worldwide. That's what happens. Obama benefited from the rising of Martin Luther King. What did he do for the black people? Nothing. So we have to be very careful because, you can push, but you need to, you need to know what's happening. Okay, NYSC certificate, President Tinubu should allow DSS investigate Tunji. This NYSC certificate issue, alleged certificate forgery led to the resignation of the former Minister of Finance, Kemi Ojo, and more recently Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo's case should not be treated differently regardless of his performance as minister. The integrity of this administration will be judged by how it handles Tunji Ojo's situation. If President Tinubu refuses to allow the DSS to investigate the minister over the alleged NYSC allegation, it will undermine the rule of law in Nigeria. Bro, this is a major issue. Let me listen to this.
Okay, first of all, I will like to start with this. Every government is saddled with the responsibility to be transparent and also protect the integrity of their administration. And that is one of the things President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised Nigeria, that I'm an old man and I want to leave a legacy behind. Okay. And what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Mm-hmm. This same certificate issue made the former Minister of Finance to resign. Yeah, that's and the same issue, Naji resigned some few weeks ago. So Olubunmi Tunji Ojo is not different. He's a human being. He's also a serving minister. So it is for the government, even for the opposition not to use it as a yardstick to start speaking against him. He was always talking about the integrity of his governance. Then Tunji Ojo must be subject to scrutiny. I'm not doubting the fact that, yes, he's rated as one of the best performance minister. We give that to him. But there are others, however, there are other issues, even in the reforms. When you spoke about the passport, I have a lot of things to tell you when it comes to the issue of passport. That I don't know if you are aware that for the past 2 weeks, millions of passports produced cannot be used. Nigerians are not accepting them for the reason of the centralization of production, which is one of the innuendos and one of the initiatives that are not palatable to their reforms. They are to revisit such initiative, that centralization of the production of passport is not workable. And Nigeria have lost millions, billions of naira to that. The same reform process by Olubunmi. So you see, he has done his best, but then the integrity of this government will be vetted through Olubunmi. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu refused to allow him to be scrutinized and to be investigated by the DSS, trust me, we are living in Banana Republic. Nobody is above the law. No big man. No matter how influential you are in this country, you should not be above the law. Every nations are governed by the rule of law. We are where we are today because of lawlessness. So now I am so surprised to see some group of people now calling for president to shield. The word shield means protect, hide. If you are using umbrella, meaning there is rain or sunshine. So telling Mr. President to shield Olubunmi, meaning there is something there. And we're going to, if you allow us to, one by one, we're going to bring to light some of the irregularities from the NYSC to the Senate, and then to even INEC, and all this have to be brought to the table.
Wow, this NYSC issue. To be honest with you, this NYSC issue, I don't know what to say about it, because it's giving me these vibes of, why do we have to nail people for something that is ridiculous? And if he really forged that thing, then I'm sorry. If he really forged it, then he has to go. But if NYSC issued it to him, it's a different story. If NYSC issued it to him, and he did serve, but it was just that it wasn't really serving the way it should, then there's a different discussion there. And again, I don't know, because you could have people that didn't even go to school, that only had SSC certificate, become a president, but I want to be a minister. I cannot be because I didn't do 1 year of NYSC. It's ridiculous. I could have someone just get an exception certificate because he graduated after he was 30 years of age, but I could then also have another person that graduated before 30 years of age, but then he has to go and serve and get a certificate. It doesn't make sense. So again, I know where these guys are coming from, but to be honest with you, I don't think that this NYC requirement should even make it to the light of day. It's a very ridiculous requirement. And it may not be your turn today, but tomorrow you may actually pay a very hefty price for it.
So Nigeria can see exactly what is Olubunmi doing and what are the skeleton that must be revisited. This issue came up in 2023, but nobody.
Why should I have to go for NYSC before I can be a minister? Let's just scrap that ridiculous stuff. That's the retarded way the old constitution, which I believe is a fraud, has just been set up. So if I happen to be a Nigerian citizen, but because I'm fortunate, I move out of the country, did all my elementary schooling, did my high schooling, did my colleges, and did my university out of Nigeria, I cannot contribute meaningfully to the government of the day because I didn't go to NYSC. And then I have someone that only went to SS3, he can be the president, but me that I've gone to the best school in the world, I cannot because I didn't serve 1 year. That law itself is discriminatory. I mean, that's my own view. I mean, I don't know, but that's my view. It's a very, very ridiculous law. It's a retarded. I don't know whoever put that as part of the requirement is retarded.
Talked about it, and that was under incident. Until Unaji came, until some civil society start talking about, I call them cash activists who come out to tell Nigeria, share this person, forget about this, he's doing his best. I can tell you categorically, and I'll bring it to light today, there are so many things under the so-called information that are questionable. And those are verifiable. All right. We are talking about passport. Madam, you are not talking about the department that are not being empowered to patrol and bring to an end about the aliens on our street. The immigration information, it doesn't stop only with passport. We have other security situation that is bothering the whole Nigerians today, that people are dying every day. And part of those reformation should be encompassed with the immigration, forming a task force to move on the street, identify those that are not Nigerian, the mercenaries that are coming through our borders, through the Maiduguri, through Castina, and through the Cameroonian border, and every other borders that have to, to protect our life. First of all, the first duty of governance is life and property.
I agree with him here. Yeah, I agree with all he said here. It's not just about passport for those who want to leave the country. What about all those terrorists coming into the country? That falls under, you know, BTO's purview. And if you're still having all this stuff, what has been done there? And that's why I still rate this administration very poorly when it comes to security. So again, it's a mixed one. You don't need to go to the university to be a president, but you need to go to NYC camp to be a minister. Doesn't make sense.
And if those things are not being protected, and then we focus our direction on just passport, I have many things to say about the passport, and I just told you now, millions of passports has been produced without used. Now billions is lost over there.
No. I don't agree with. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, you can be an opposition and still talk some reasonable stuff. Yeah, what do you mean millions have been produced without whatever? So again, this NYC thing is not today's issue. It's not an issue that just happened yesterday. You know, look at the timelines here. 2005, he graduated from the University of North London. Immediately I saw the NYC, I knew for a fact that this guy actually didn't study in Nigeria. It's a model. So once they don't want you, they're going to go hook up something relating to your past, which I'm not condoning what he has done, allegedly, because it's not yet, you know, proven. Now, 2006, immobilized. And we all know what happens. These guys have lived their whole life, you know, in whatever, UK and all that. They come in here and then you're telling them to go to one village, to go to school and teach. I'm sorry. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. So he absconded in 2006. 2018 resurfaced and applied for remobilization. So this 2018, that means, you know, he's getting closer to looking for political stuff in Nigeria. June 19, you see now, he became what? An House of Rep member in Ondo State. And that was why he needed it. November 2019 to 2020, remobilized. How now, bro? Remobilized and complete NYSC as an House of Rep member, deployed to the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, in Abuja. So if he remobilized in 2019 to 2020, and he was deployed to FCTA and was serving as what? As an House of Rep member, I think it's good. I think it's good. We all know that 1 year at times is just more of a show. 2020, certificate omitted from printing due to administrative error during pass. Applies for the certificate via FCT state coordinator. February 28, 2023, since 2005, oh bro. 2028, February 28, 2023, certificate issued and signed by the then Director General Yeshua Ahmed. August 2023, Senate screening raises question about the issuance date and service timing while serving as a lawmaker. NYC confirmed authenticity in response to a Premium Times Freedom of Information request. Despite scrutiny, Senate confirms him as a minister. Again, I don't see any issue with this. The thing is that it's either you apply this for everybody. If you want to be a president, go for NYC. That means if you don't go to a university and if you didn't serve or apply for exemption, then that's the problem. I think they need to remodel this NYC thing. It's become a charade. Even if it's really important, I think they could make it much more interesting. Maybe a 3 months thing. I don't know, I'm just saying. Maybe a 3 months thing. So you have incidents of somebody coming to tell us that Lagos is smelling. That Lagos is smelling. Because it's been there for a year and she's depressed. I think Lagos is no longer smelling when you see the bands and all that, right? Okay, allegations revived by groups like Concerned Nigerians in Diaspora and League for Good Governance calling for probes by the DSS. So again, I'm saying that the guy, NYC said he served in Abuja as a congressman, as a House of Rep member. So the core allegation is saying forgery claims. So they're not even saying he didn't serve, but they're just saying that, oh, that the certificate was forged. But NYC has already said the certificate was actually issued. So that's it. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. I don't think this would be a valid, I mean, given all of this stuff, And NYC has said he's actually, he's been a copper and then served his own dues. I don't think there's going to be any issue. But again, that's what it is. I just saw that. I just said I should cover it. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.